Hi everyone, in this video we'll install Ubuntu Server 24 LTS on Windows using Hyper-V. Whether you're learning Linux or building a server environment for your projects, this guide is for you. First, make sure Hyper-V is enabled on Windows. If it isn't, you can check out the video below for instructions on how to enable it. Next, download the Ubuntu ISO file from the official Ubuntu website to ensure you're using a trusted and up-to-date version. Now, open Hyper-V. We'll start by creating a new virtual machine for Ubuntu Server. Here, give your virtual machine a name so you can easily manage and recognize it later. Next, select Generation 1 to ensure compatibility and a smooth Ubuntu Server installation. Next, choose the amount of RAM for the virtual machine. You can allocate around 2 GB or more for stable Ubuntu Server performance. Next, select a network that has internet access so the virtual machine can connect online and download required packages. Next, create a virtual hard disk. I recommend allocating at least 20 GB, depending on your use case. Now select the Ubuntu ISO file you downloaded earlier to prepare for the installation process. Finally, click Finish to complete and create the virtual machine. Before starting the VM, we'll adjust a few settings to ensure it runs optimally. First, set a maximum RAM limit for the virtual machine so Ubuntu Server runs smoothly without using too much of your system's memory. Next, adjust the number of CPUs for the virtual machine. You can allocate 2 CPUs or more depending on desired performance, but avoid assigning too many to prevent affecting your host Windows system. Okay, now start the virtual machine. At the boot screen, select the first option to start installing Ubuntu Server. Next, select the installation language you want to use for Ubuntu Server. Next, choose the keyboard layout that suits you to ensure accurate input during installation. Here, choose the Ubuntu version you want to install, Ubuntu Server or Ubuntu Server Minimized. I recommend using the full Ubuntu Server version for a complete set of basic features and more convenience. By default, the system will obtain an IP address via DHCP. However, I recommend setting a static IP for the Ubuntu Server for easier management and stable access. In the subnet field, enter the network range you are using so the Ubuntu Server can connect properly to your local network. Next, enter an available IP address in the address field to assign to your Ubuntu Server. Next, enter your network gateway and DNS addresses so the Ubuntu Server can access the internet and resolve domain names correctly. Then, save the network configuration you just set up to apply it to your Ubuntu Server. Okay, once the setup is complete, select Done to move on to the next step. Next, if your local network uses a proxy, enter the IP address of the proxy server. If not, leave it blank and proceed to the next step. Here, you can keep the default settings and proceed to the next step. Here, we will also keep the default settings to simplify the installation process. Now enter important information such as your full name, host name, user account, and password to set up the Ubuntu server. Here, the system asks if you want to use Ubuntu Pro. Depending on your needs, you can register or skip it. Here, I choose Skip for now. Next, select Install Open SSH Server to enable remote access to your Ubuntu server via SSH, making management and operation more convenient. Next, select any services you want to install along with the server. However, to keep things simple and manageable, I recommend installing these services after the system setup is complete. The Ubuntu server installation has started. Please wait, as this process may take 10 to 20 minutes depending on your system configuration. Once the installation is complete, the system will prompt you to restart the virtual machine. Click Reboot Now to finalize the Ubuntu server setup. Here, press Enter to remove the ISO installation file from the virtual machine after rebooting, to prevent booting from the ISO again. Once the system has booted, enter the username and password you created earlier to log into the Ubuntu server. Congratulations! You've successfully logged into your Ubuntu server. From here, you can start configuring the system, install additional services, or manage the server as needed. So we've successfully installed Ubuntu Server 24.04 LTS on Windows using Hyper-V. I hope this video helps you easily set up a server environment for learning or project deployment. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next videos.